Hey, everybody. Super excited to chat about the future of the intelligent edge, something that HP Aruba Networks knows a lot about. Phil, how are you?
I'm very good. What about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Really excited to have you here and can't wait to dive in. Maybe introduce yourself and your team, your mission
Yeah,
within
sure.
Aruba.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Phil Mottram, and I look after HPE Aruba Networking. So Aruba Networking is I guess as the name says on the tin, the networking arm of Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and I'm responsible for that unit. We're about 10,000 people strong and about $5.5 billion worth of revenues, and I've been doing this job for about 2.5 years.
Fantastic. And you and your team have been so busy with your Intelligent Edge initiative. And I think you just got back from Barcelona at HPE Discover, if I'm correct. How is Barcelona? Always a joy to visit.
Yeah, it was actually colder than I remember, but
Oh,
no,
no.
it's a great city. But no, the feedback was really good. I mean, we've changed a lot our business over the last couple of years. We've been making acquisitions and investments, and we've grown quite significantly. So a couple of years ago, revenues were about 3.5 billion. As I said, we've just closed out at about 5.5 billion. 2 years ago, we used to have about 6,000 staff. We're now up to 10,000. So we're a very different company than we were 2 years ago, and customers seem really excited about it.
That's exciting indeed. Well, let's dive in. The Intelligent Edge is so fundamental to HPE's mission these days and Aruba networking. But describe, your strategy for the Intelligent Edge and, meeting these incredible requirements we're seeing emerge all over the world.
Yeah, sure. So I use a simple triangle actually or
Hmm.
pyramid, depending on how you look at it, for our strategy. So along the bottom, we have the products and services that we offer. And then along the sides, we have the platform, which is Aruba Central, which is part of HP GreenLake. And then NAS, which is Network as a Service. But if I focus on the products and services, maybe first, we're famous for Wi-Fi. So we've been in the
Hmm.
Wi-Fi access point business now for 21 years. We've shipped 28 million access points around the
Wow.
world. So we think at any one moment in time, you'd have probably 100 million people connected to our Wi-Fi access
No
points around the
kidding.
world. And then we moved from there into campus switching when we launched our CX portfolio. And that's been really popular. And we've hit about $2 billion worth of sales recently on that platform. And then last but not least, we then moved into SD-WAN, which is a network technology to link offices, data centers, a kind of customers environment. We moved into that space with the acquisition of a company called Silver Peak, which
Mhm.
was a leading SD-WAN provider. And we now have 3,700 customers on that platform. So they're the first three products that we started with. And then since I've been on board, we've expanded into three new areas. First one is data center networking. So the CX switch that we have for the campus environment is a great base product to allow us to build into data centers. So we've been building out that portfolio in the last 18 months. And we've done actually some pretty innovative stuff in the data center space. So we launched the CX10K, which is a top of rack switch that does east-west firewalling, which allows companies to improve the performance of traffic in data centers and reduce firewall costs. So that was the first area of expansion. The second area of expansion is the area of security. So you may have heard of the kind of SASE framework, which is where networks and security are coming together. We obviously had great network assets through Silver Peak with SD-WAN and Network Firewall, but now customers are asking for ZTNA, SWIG, and CASB. So with that in mind, we acquired a company called Axis Security, who are based out
Hmm.
of Israel, and we're really focused on integrating network and security into one offer for customers, because Aruba's always been great at protecting things on a network, but the acquisition of Axis gave us now the ability to be able to protect people. So that was our second area of expansion. And then our last area of expansion has been in the area of private 5G. Private
Hmm.
5G is an interesting technology where customers who require, if they've got big outdoor spaces that need coverage or they have real high speed requirements, then customers nowadays like to look at the option of private 5G versus just Wi Fi. And so we see use cases in warehouses, ports, military, those sorts of kind of outdoor or speed scenarios. And so with that in mind, we acquired a company called Athernet, who are based
Mhm.
in Venice, just outside of northern Italy. And they've got great technology. They've been working in this space for like 18 years now, and we're really excited to have them as part of the family. So they're the 6 products and services that we offer now. So we went from the 3, we added the new 3, and then we lean forward into the market focused on 2 things. One is NAS, Network as a Service, and then the other one is the platform. So the platform, as I said, is Aruba Central, and that's where we allow customers to provision, manage their network. And that's part of the company's broader HPE GreenLake platform, which you may have heard of, which is an industry leading platform for customers to be able to provision and buy kind of network, compute, and storage products. So that's the kind of platform story. And then last but not least is Network as a Service. And this is where customers are moving away from buying their network equipment on a CapEx one-off basis and moving to more of a kind of predictable monthly model. And we find that's attractive to customers who find it difficult to get hold of CapEx, are interested in NAS, but then also customers are interested in sustainability. So we have a division of HPE called HPE Financial Services. As part of their operations, they've been running for 20 or 30 years. They refurbish equipment and give it a second life in another market. Every year, they take back millions of devices from customers, some HPE equipment, some competitor equipment, but they refurbish and sell the equipment onto another market in about 82% of cases. And so we find that customers for Network as a Service are interested in the predictable benefits of a predictable cost model, but also they like the fact that we can provide a second life to their old equipment.
Fantastic. Well, there's so much there to unpack. I'm not sure where to begin, but maybe let's start with something that's top of mind to in every chat I have, and that's AI and ML and automation. Something customers are asking for and intrigued by. How is that shaping the discussions you're having and sort of the road mapping and planning and your
Yeah,
products today?
absolutely.
What do you see as a big opportunity there?
I mean, so at a company level, HPE sees a
Mm.
huge opportunity with high performance compute and AI, and we've got some great heritage there through the acquisition of Cray supercomputers, and the principles that you would use to build supercomputers very much apply to the AI world. So at a corporate level, AI is a huge area of focus and opportunity for HPE. As we drill down to HPE Aruba Networking, we certainly see customers taking the benefit of our AI capabilities in how they manage their networks. First thing is we have a huge data lake. So Aruba Central as a platform is 11 years old. It's got over 3 million devices connected to it.
Mm.
And what we're doing is taking a lot of telemetry data all the time from all of these users and anonymizing it and then making recommendations back to our customers. We feel that those recommendations are very accurate given the size of the data lake we have. We think we've probably got the largest network data lake in the market today. So that's how customers are benefiting. Within the Aruba Central platform, we have AI capabilities that will spot customer problems and then flag them to the customer and actually fix the network as well if the
Wow.
customer wants. And what's interesting is actually in most instances, customers want us to flag the problem and the recommendation, but they want to be able to push a button before the recommendation or change is made. And I think
Mm.
that makes sense because we see, you see around the world where there's network failures, often they're catastrophic, aren't they, to companies, even countries. You hear about big network outages that mean that companies, whole countries can't withdraw cash from cash machines and a whole host of problems. So I understand the sensitivity around network changes that customers want. So yeah, we find customers use the platform to identify what the problems could be, flag, hey, we see this problem coming up, we make this recommendation, but then customers really want to push a button to implement the recommendation.
Oh, fantastic approach. So you're deep in the wireless space through Aruba, of course, with Wi-Fi, and so exciting to see Wi-Fi 6E out there. It's a game changer for me as a small business owner and so
Yeah.
many more. like me, and you have that portfolio, and of course 5G. So you're looking at both. What are customers asking for? Are they looking for both? Is it site dependent? Is it a hybrid of those? And you work with telcos too, who manage those networks in complex environments. What are you seeing on the wireless
Yeah.
front?
So we bought Alphanet about 6 months ago, and I've been really very pleased with the level of interest from customers. And we see, as I say, customers who require coverage in large outdoor spaces or require high speed are drawn towards private 5G. So for some
Mm,
examples would be warehouse customers, where in the warehouse, as opposed to having people, they have robots going up and down aisles, taking packets off shelves and what have you. The actual robots are moving at some speed. And so they prefer private 5G as a technology to manage those robots versus having Wi-Fi. So that's one example. Military customers, there's a lot of secure networks, private 5G networks being rolled out on military bases, but also portable 5G networks as well for battlefields. And that's
mm.
another kind of service that we've been providing. Mining customers, ports. So where you've got large outdoor spaces, or I guess indoor spaces in the mining example, but where you need this kind of large space coverage, private 5G is very interesting. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of interest. And then the other interest as well in private 5G, which is technology we don't have today, but we're building, is the area of neutral host. Not sure if you've heard
Mm.
of neutral host, but neutral host is where we are essentially providing cellular coverage inside of a campus building. So that's attractive to hospitals, schools, universities, companies who might be in more remote locations who are suffering from poor carrier coverage. What they want to do is they want to use neutral host technology to essentially replicate the carrier coverage in the building and allow them to provide great connectivity to employees, guests, customers, whoever it may be.
Wow, so many opportunities at underground stations and
Yeah, exactly right.
campuses and stadiums. I can just see you have just a lot to look at there. And you're back to Barcelona, I think, for Mobile World Congress, which I can't believe is only a couple months away. I guess this is a preview of what you'll be talking about. Anything
Yeah.
else on your mind? And as a longtime telco veteran?
Well, look, I think the telco market now, it's it's tough times, isn't it?
Hmm.
Being in the telco space, because you have to make these significant investments every 3 or 4 years as the technology goes from 4G to 5G, and no doubt in a couple of years we'll be talking about 6G. So, there's huge investments that these companies have to make, and often with little return because consumer customers don't necessarily pay any more for their tariffs. And obviously, the mobile operators need to be able to find a return on the capital that they're employing. So, what
Hmm.
we're trying to do as HPE Aruba is provide innovative products and services such as private 5G, Wi-Fi security, those sorts of products, provide our portfolio to the telecoms operators so they can then go and take that portfolio to their customers. And we think that will generate incremental revenue and profit opportunities for the telcos, but also tie their customers into a broader range of services as well from which they can grow the relationship.
A very nice elevator pitch. Sounds good to me. So you're at home base now, I guess, for the holidays. Any more travel, or are you going to manage to stay home for a
I'm
little bit?
staying in California, and then I've got two kids back in London. So just after Christmas, I fly back to London to see them, which I am
Nice.
super excited about, and they're
Oh, I
excited
bet.
about it as well.
Very nice. Very nice. And what about the early next year? Your travel
Back
itinerary, I bet,
here,
is booking up
yeah, back
already.
here on the second, and then a few trips, and then, as you say, the big one that's coming up is MWC in Barcelona. So I'll probably see you there, I would imagine.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. And really impressive work you and the team are doing. Thanks so much for sharing just a little insight here into the future. Much appreciated. And everyone, reach out to HPE and Aruba great social media presence, really great content you want to check out. Thanks very
Great.
much, Phil. Appreciate
Yeah,
your
no,
time.
hey, I really appreciate it. Thanks very much for the invite and great to talk to you today. Thank you.